Hey guys, this week's show, big tackle, big rods, big line, big fish. Going after muskies this week. And you know, before we get started, this whole show is basically like a muskie fishing 101, the basics and getting into muskie fishing. You know, there's a lot of stuff on the market that you can go buy that you can spend thousands and thousands of dollars. And if you're just gonna get started in it, you're not gonna know if you really like it or if you can even handle it. Start off small, buy good equipment at a reasonable price, and you're gonna get the ticket. You're gonna be able to tell if you like it or not, you know. So the whole process for today is we're gonna be moving and covering a lot of water, but more so we're gonna be focusing on the basics of muskie fishing. And the real simple basics are good lures, good locations, and fish. You gotta have fish. So, and you could throw time of year in, but that kind of goes around with locations. So what we're doing today is I got a bucktail on. This is a Hook and Look Lures bucktail. This happens to be my Guide Series bucktail. It's a really good bait. You got a good amount of lead on it. You got good flashaboo. Smaller blades, which is different. Everybody's throwing 10s now. You can get away with these smaller blades. They're easier in your hands. Fish eat them. They love these things. And then what I got it spooled up with is a 200-pound test leader. These are handmade. They don't make these this short in stores. I like the short leader. I get better figure eights out of them. 80-pound Power Pro line or any kind of braided line, but you must have at least 80 pound, especially when you're starting out, because when you're starting out you're going to get a lot of rat's nests, you call them, birds nests. You're going to have some problems casting unless you're really familiar with bait casters. So 80-pound minimum, because that's going to allow you, if you do cast and get rat's nest, your $20 lure is not going to go flying. So when it comes down to rods, this is a Hook Look Lures muskie rods. This is their split grip model. They're really affordable rods. For the beginner, this is the rod that I recommend. It's really cheap to get into it. You can spend upwards of $500–600 on a muskie rod, and you're not going to get any better quality out of it than what this guy's got. You can find these on his website at hooklooklures.com or look them up on Facebook. But these are definitely the way to go to start off with. They're cheap, they work really well, and they hold up really good. As far as reels go, make sure you get a good reel. That's the one thing you do got to spend some money on, is make sure you get a good reel, because your reel's taking the abuse day in and day out, cast after cast after cast. So spend the money on a good reel, you'll be happy. So the whole plan for today is basically going to be covering water. Muskies are top of the line predators, so they could be shallow, they could be deep, they could be anywhere in between. And it's your job as the fisherman to find out what that is. So we're going to go through a few different things today, and we're going to see a lot of fish. I think we're going to do pretty good today. It's a good night. So basics of today is just moving and covering water. That's it. It's as simple as that when you're starting out. Just cover water and the fish will tell you what you need to do. So I'm going to get out there and get one. Just they are making me work for it. It's not quite committing. That's okay. It gives you a good chance. Kind of bring up a little bit of a point to what we're doing. Right now I'm chucking a bucktail, but this area we're fishing, this is a big flat up here, deep water behind me. This is a long kind of jagged weed edge, and a really good thing to do if you're fishing by yourself, tie on a bucktail on one rod. On another rod, tie up say something like a shallow running, like a topwater, any kind of surface bait, a shallow crankbait, something that you're confident in. And what you want to do is you move real slow, put your trolling motor at 10 or 20%, and just kind of creep along right on top of the weeds. And what you do is you take your bucktail, cast 2 or 3 bomb cast down the edge of the brake line, reel them in, then pick up your other rod, cast 2 or 3 casts up on top of the flat. Put that rod down, cast back this way. That's an easy way if you're fishing by yourself to cover both areas at once instead of turning around and making a whole nother pass. It's going to take you a little more time, but you're going to contact a lot more fish, and it's going to tell you in a hurry if those fish are up shallow or if they're up on the weed edge out deeper. So I got to get back there. They're getting hungry. Another close call. When it comes down to basic musky fishing, nothing really beats a bucktail. You know, this one here's this is a jointed hook look lures bucktail. This happens to be the Lockjaw Guide series. These are great bucktails. It's got a little smaller size. It's easier to start casting with, but it'll also run a little deeper, a little shallower. You can burn it. You can do whatever you want with this thing. And the bucktail really should be your main go-to bait when it comes to musky fishing. Bucktails allow you to fish a lot of cover, fish a lot of area, and fish will always respond to a fish. Spring, summer, and fall, and winter, whatever times you're fishing, bucktails will always at least produce fish for you, and those will show you spots. And then once you know the spots, you can come back at a later time when maybe it's better, throw another bucktail, throw a topwater, throw something after them. But you should always have a good selection of bucktails in your box because they're going to put some big fish in your boat. Come on, girl. She's gone now. It's a good lesson though on figure eights. Don't ever give up. There was 2 times there I thought that fish had left. She turned around and came back at it. Even though she didn't eat it, she gave me a lot of useful knowledge on what this fish's attitude is, what they're kind of looking for, and what I need to do different the next time I get a follow in. Remember that, because that's a huge part of catching fish on your figure eights. Got him! Oh, no! Right there, that's how you lose them. Just like that. You come in and eat it, and then you say, no, I don't feel like touching you today. Oh, that was close. Had them hooked up, I couldn't close the deal. I mixed it up a little bit, but that's all right. There's a lot more fish out there. I'm telling you guys, when you come into early fall, put on some baits you can move and cover water with, like bucktails, surface baits, topwaters, crankbaits, things that'll go fast and you can cover a lot of water. You're not always going to have the greatest amount of follows, but you're going to find active fish like that one, that 8 that I blew. They're going to come into the boat and they're going to eat your lures. So whew, that was kind of fun. You guys have a good one next week. I probably should have opened the other show, I guess.